IP addresses belonging to Class A are assigned to the networks that contain a large number of hosts. IP addresses belonging to Class A ranges from 1x126 x, for example 10.0.0.0/8 subnet 255.0.0.0. The network ID is 8 bits long and the host ID is 24 bits long. The higher order bit of the first octet in Class A is always set to 0. The remaining 7 bits in the first octet are used to determine network ID. The 24 bits of host ID are used to determine the host in any network. The default subnet mask for Class A is 255.0.0.0, therefore, Class A has a total of. The network ID equals 2 to the power of 7 minus 2 equals 126 and host ID equals 2 caret 24 to 2 equals 16,777,214. For example, network for IP address 10.0.0.0 first host 10.0.0.1 last host 10.255.255.254 and broadcast 10.255, 255.255. Class B IP address belonging to Class B is assigned to networks that range from medium-sized to large-sized networks. IP addresses belonging to Class B ranges from 128.0.x by 191.255 x. For example, 172.16.0.0/16 ADN subnet 255.255 0.0. The higher order bits of the first octet of IP addresses of Class B are always set to 10. The network ID is 16 bits long and the host ID is 16 bits long. The remaining 14 bits are used to determine the network ID. The 16 bits of host ID are used to determine the host in any network. The default subnet mask for Class B is 255.255.0.0. Class B has a total of. Network address equals 2 to the power of 14 equals 16,384 and host address equals 2 caret 16 minus 2 equals 65,534. For example, network 172.16.0.0 first host 172.16.0.1 last host 172.16.255.254 and broadcast 172.16, 255.255. IP addresses belonging to Class C are assigned to small-sized networks. IP addresses belonging to Class C range from 192.0.0.x 223.255.255 x. For example, 192.168.0.0/24 subnet 255.255, 255.0. The network ID is 24 bits long and the host ID is 8 bits long. The higher order bits of the first octet of IP addresses of Class C is always set to 110. The remaining 21 bits are used to determine the network ID. The 8 bits of host ID are used to determine the host in any network. The default subnet mask for Class C is 255.255.255 x. Class C. Network address equals 2 to the power of 21 equals 2,097,152 and host address equals 2 caret 8 minus 2 equals 254. For example, network 192.168.0.0 first host 192.168.0.1 last host 192.168.0.254 and broadcast 192.168, 0.255. Glassful D IP address belonging to Class D is reserved for multicasting. The higher order bits of the first octet of IP addresses belonging to Class D is always set to 1110. The remaining bits are for the address that interested hosts recognize. Class D does not possess any subnet mask. IP addresses belonging to Class D range from 224.0.0.0 to 239.255.255.255. Glassful EIP addresses belonging to Class E are reserved for experimental and research purposes. IP addresses of Class E range from 240.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.254. This class doesn't have any subnet mask. The higher order bits of the first octet of class E are always set to 1111.